Hi, first graders. This is our last art project of the year, and it's a fun one. It's called Waving Goodbye to First Grade. So what you are going to need, you're going to need quite a few things for this project actually. You are going to need your white sheet of paper that has our little poem at the top. You are also going to need your piece of construction paper. We have given you a blue piece of construction paper because blue is our Columbus colors. But first graders, if you have a different color at home that you'd like to use, you are more than welcome to do that as well. You are also going to need some scissors. You're going to need glue. You are going to need a pencil or something to trace your hand with. And then lastly, you're going to need paint or crayons or markers or some kind of color, okay? So what we're going to start here with, I'm going to set aside my glue and my scissors and my pencil, and I'm going to start here with my colors and my sheet with the poem. So this is going to be the background here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to cover this sheet with dots. Okay, so I'm going to use paint for this, but again, if you don't have paint or if you'd rather use a different crayons or markers or something like that, that is totally fine as well. So I am using watercolors, and then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to kind of go around and I'm just going to put some dots down. This is the background of our picture, of our waving goodbye to first grade. All right, and make sure today, first graders, that you come and you wave goodbye to your teachers at the school. We're gonna be down there so that we can say our goodbyes to you in person. Ooh, look at that water. So I'm doing all different colors. You can do rainbow colors. If you'd rather just use one color, that's fine too. It's up to you. Now notice how I'm kind of pressing on my brush, and that's making it so the dots are a little bit thicker. Look at that. Okay, I think I'm just going to add one more color in here. I think I'm going to do red. Now remember, with watercolors, something very important for watercolors is water. You need to make sure you have plenty of water on that brush. Okay. Perfect. Here we go. I've got my background going. Now, since I used paint, I am going to need to set mine aside to dry for a little bit, okay? So while I'm letting mine dry, and even if you don't need to let yours dry, you're just going to set it aside for a little bit, okay? And this is when we are going to bring out our construction paper, and this is where we're going to do our wave. We're going to be waving goodbye. So what you have to do, first graders, is you have to trace your hand. We did this earlier this week. You've had a lot of practice with hand tracing. This time though, we're just going to trace our regular hand, and we're also going to include a little bit of our wrist in there, okay? So I'm going to start all the way down here. I'm going to start tracing. Going through each finger. You might want to have someone help you with this. It can be a little bit tricky to do this on your own, but you can definitely give that a try. Okay, there we go. So I've got my hand. Looks a little bumpy, but that's okay. I'm going to show you how I make it so that nobody will even see the black part of this when I cut it out. It's okay if I don't go perfectly on the lines, because I'm actually just going to flip it over. Let me show you a little shortcut. This is sometimes what I do when I'm cutting, is I'll go around the outside like this, just to kind of get some of that, and then later I will go in and I can just kind of cut around the edges. I'm trying to not go too fast that I make a mistake, but I also don't want to take up too much of your time with this. All right, so I'm cutting out these hands here and these fingers. The fingers can get a little bit tricky. You have to really be good with your scissors. This is actually very good practice. Cutting with scissors is a good activity to practice. All right, there we go. I've got my hand cut out like this. Now you can see some of the black, but look what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna flip it over, right? Okay, so now I'm gonna take back my piece of paper. Mine is not quite dry yet, but that's okay. And then my last step here, first graders, is I'm gonna glue my hand on here like this. So this is my hand and it kind of looks like I'm waving goodbye. So I'm gonna flip this over and I'm gonna get some glue. You can use a glue stick or a glue bottle, but you should be able to do it with just a glue stick since we're just gluing paper on paper. I'm being very careful on these fingers because I don't want to get glue everywhere. That would be a big mess. All right, and then finally, I'm going to glue this hand down here like that. There. And this is my waving goodbye to first grade art project. Let's read the poem here. I'll move it up a little closer to us so that we can read it together. Summer's here, our year has come to an end. We've learned a lot and made new friends. We'll wave goodbye, now summer's here. It's time for us to part. But we will remember all our friends and keep them in our hearts. Now, first graders, when you look back, you'll be able to see what size your hand was when you were in first grade. When you come back and you're Miss Wright's age and you put your hand down, you're gonna say, wow, I can't believe my hand was that small in first grade. I hope you have fun with this project. You guys are amazing artists. I have loved being your art teacher this year. I hope that you continue doing lots and lots of art over the summer. Make sure that you are being creative and using your imagination and using all sorts of different art materials. Have a great summer, you guys.